Hey, Aubrey, how are you today?
I'm great, Lindsay. I'm curious, have you ever run an Ironman?
Oh my
Or not
gosh.
even run, have you ever done an Ironman?
No. But I do know people who have.
It's so
And
impressive.
it's another level. I mean, it's not a marathon, right? It's more than a marathon.
Right. It's like a 2.4 mile swim, a 112 mile bike ride, and a 26.2 mile run.
Yeah.
So that's intense. You have to be fit, like overall.
Yes.
You can't just be a runner or just a swimmer.
And I've seen people close to me run marathons, and I know how intensive the training is for that. So I can't imagine
Right, that
the
times
training
3.
plan for for the Ironman. It's insane. So what are we
Yes.
getting into today, Aubrey?
Well, this is really interesting. We're going to show you today how structuring your English learning like you would train for an Ironman will set you up for success.
Yes.
So the reason we're bringing this up is our Black Friday deal is doing just that, creating a plan for you to take all of the guesswork out of learning English.
Yeah.
So we're hoping that we can show how this type of training is really the best way to be successful.
Yeah, because when you're training for an Ironman, you don't have the time to jump around from resource to resource and wonder who you should follow. You just need a plan and you just need to do the work. And it's the same with learning English. It's hard enough learning the language, but adding the layer of stress where you're jumping around the internet from TikTok to YouTube to Instagram to podcasts. No, we need a plan that we can follow and then actually do the work. Right, Aubrey?
Exactly. Yes. So you guys can sign up right now at allearsenglish.com/Black Friday. This is actually our best deal of the year. You can save 50% off all 3 of our fluency courses, and it's good until Friday at midnight New York time. So this is really the best deal you're going to see from us.
Yep, you won't see this deal again. So go and get it right now, allearsenglish.com/Black Friday. But then come back to the episode because let's talk about training here and why we actually need to focus in with a real clear plan, Aubrey.
Yes, and we're also going to teach an idiom in English about doing something the most efficient way possible. So stick around for that. But yeah, learning a language is a lot like training for an Ironman triathlon, not just a marathon, this triathlon, because so much goes into language learning. It's like that where you're exercising all of these different skills, and it's a long-term, intense race that requires structure in your training.
Yeah, and it also requires focus in the sense that you generally want to have one coach, one system, one kind of philosophy on the Ironman. You're not going to learn from coach 1 on day 1 and then coach 2 on day 2. You're not going to jump around from coach to coach.
Exactly,
it's
right?
The same
to be
with
successful at the race and to avoid injury. Like you said, you are going to want a consistent coach that gives you some specific things. So first of all, a clear plan, right? From day 1 to race day. You're not going to want to be changing how you're training.
Yes. Then a step-by-step progression. So it's not just a plan, but it's a plan that unfolds in what we call in teacher speak, we call it scaffolding, but it's a very coherent way of opening your skills, right? When it comes to, I'm sure the same thing is done in Ironman. You're not going to go on day 1 of training to biking that 112 miles, right?
Yes, exactly. You're building on these skills to build endurance so that you can progress in your training. Yes. And not only that, feedback and adjustments, right? This coach is going to be letting you know what you're doing wrong, what you need to adjust in order to be as successful as possible.
Yeah. And then, of course, workouts that are designed to build the right skills at the right time, right? So if we go out of order, we might be focusing on our quadriceps when we should actually be focusing on our endurance, right? I mean,
and all of this is keeping us from plateauing in our workout regime. Just like in a language. So let's talk about how language learning works in the same way, right? When everything is in one place, it's like having that dedicated coach who guides you through these steps.
Exactly. I mean, you could start the year next year, 2026, by thinking, I think I'm at the B1 level. I want to get to C1. But if you don't have a clear path to get there, you will not get there, right? So our bundle plan that offers you that clear plan for 2026 brings you through B1, B2, and C1 seamlessly. Each course leads into the next, Aubrey.
Exactly. With no need to jump around the internet and find different YouTube videos, different teachers. Yes. Everything you need is here in these courses. Exactly. And then that second step, this step-by-step progression where the courses are designed to follow each other. So it's structured. You progress through each level of English fluency without needing to search for those separate resources and get distracted along the way.
I also think this is where a lack of satisfaction can come in. If we're jumping around from this YouTube influencer and this TikToker and other, people that may or may not be
contradicting
each other, it's very unsatisfying because we can't track our progress. We can't see last week I was here, this week I'm here, next week I know I'll be here. Right. Exactly. And so that leads to burnout and just kind of giving up and feeling like we're plateauing.
Yes, exactly. And then that third step, just like you need from a coach, feedback in our course and in the community. Yeah. You don't want to go it alone, not sure what you're doing or ever getting feedback. This is built into these courses so that you get that feedback along the way.
Yeah. And I love that in our programs, the feedback comes from our teachers and it also comes from other students because you have that chance, we're in a big AI moment right now and there is AI in our courses. Yes, where you get AI feedback, you do, but you also get invited to our open conversation club twice a week, which I think is such a special thing in a moment when we seem to be losing human contact a little bit, Aubrey, on the internet. We come together as a community twice a week to practice together.
Exactly right. We're fighting that because the community is such a big thing. We believe in connection here. And that's why we're learning a language to connect with others. So we provide that community for you. One of my favorite things is when another student posts on someone's exercise or someone's practice, encouragement, feedback, something that's worked for them. It's so motivational.
It's so great. I love it. And then what else, Aubrey? Something else about the courses?
Yes, that, of course, they are designed to build the right skills at the right time, right? So fluency activities, speaking practice to practice what you're learning. It's a very integrated approach so that there are no gaps in your learning process.
Yeah, exactly. And like you said, the speaking practice comes at the right time. So it's not going to come when you've just been introduced to these vocabulary words. It's going to come after you've built the skills over a few days, and then it's the time to practice the speaking, right? So we wouldn't know how to do this on our own or with random resources. Right?
Exactly. Right. The goal is to be firing on all cylinders. That is the fun idiom we want to share. This means performing at the highest level, working as efficiently as possible. If you're not wasting time, you're spending your time in the right ways. We use this fun idiom to say you're firing on all cylinders.
I love that. So for example, once I started meeting with a trainer, I felt like I was firing on all cylinders. So meaning you were really reaching your potential. And that's true. If we have the right program, the right system, the right coach, that system can bring out our potential. Right?
Exactly. Yeah. And then we are fired because if you're not, right, this alludes to, any kind of engine, a car, a jet engine. If you're not firing on all cylinders, you're not using all of your engines, you're not using all of your power. That happens a lot to us with language learning or with training for an Ironman. If we're not doing it the right way, we are missing out. We're not setting ourselves up for success.
And I think it's true. If you think about how you might consume a YouTube video or even this podcast, don't get me wrong, this podcast is a great start, but most of it is passive taking in of us speaking, right? And it's
listening,
the same
comprehension. Yes.
It's a good start as a foundation. Same on YouTube. I'm going to watch a YouTube influencer. They're going to tell me things, but I'm not actively engaging with what I'm learning. I'm not doing exercises. I'm not getting AI feedback. I'm not meeting any other students for practice or the teacher. There's so much more that we can't get from a podcast or a YouTube channel.
A student actually told me that this week in Open Conversation Club, they had listened to our podcast for years and they felt like their listening comprehension had improved so much. They were able to understand so much more than they used to, but speaking wasn't getting there. Like there were these gaps, and then they signed up for one of our courses and they were able to improve there as well, right? It's really not enough to be just listening to podcasts and TV shows. There's a lot more you need to be doing.
Exactly. Because we're not just learning facts here. If we were just memorizing historical facts, that would be enough, right? But we're actually acquiring a new language. It's an entirely new way of thinking and a new way of communicating. So we need something special, right? Love it.
Exactly. So guys, don't forget, until Friday at midnight, you can sign up for the best deal we're going to offer all year. Go to allearsenglish.com/Black Friday.
You got it. Go on over there, guys. And again, today we've talked about how training for your English going through B1, B2, C1 is very similar to training for any Ironman or really anything big we want to do. We don't do it alone. We know we can't do that. We don't do it without a system. And we make sure we don't add stress to the process by getting distracted.
Exactly, right? So we want you to set yourself up for success so you can be firing on all cylinders. Now, I'm so excited for you to check out these courses. They're amazing fluency courses and to be part of our community.
I know. We're looking forward to welcoming our new students into our program and to see our new students at our next Open Conversation Club. Right, Aubrey?
Absolutely, right? Really fun live speaking where you can get to know us, the hosts of All Ears English, as well as other members of the All Ears English community.
Excellent. Good stuff today, Aubrey. I'll see you on the next episode. You have a good day.
You too. See you next time.
All right. Bye.